I think that's a little bit. I was not getting the results that I want. All right, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Yeah, what I'm doing.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if
We're
you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
What do I want to do?
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too.
Come on.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are once again back. I do apologize for that. The app is giving me a little bit of a glitch over here. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's get started with today's topics. All right, thank you, everyone. Sorry about doing the quick reset. I was getting a little flag and I wanted to restart it. All right. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is it's been brought to Zeus's attention. I do apologize for having to do the quick reset, all right? But, you know, there was a little bit of a warning on my live, and I had to restart it. There's been reports that have came out, and Morning Joe did a good job starting this day off in terms of with what we need to talk about, all right? It's, once again, how Donald Trump continues to disrespect our troops. All right, so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I do apologize for the, this is a bit of a trigger warning, right? But I do think it's important that we show the American people why Donald Trump should not be the president of the United States. One big reason is the way that he continues to disparage and disrespect our troops. It's almost as if he thinks disrespecting our troops is something to get off on. He's actually taking a lot of joy in disrespecting our troops. All right, so let's listen to what Morning Joe had to say this morning. All right, but all the other news networks, I don't think Fox is, they're not covering it. But this is why Donald Trump could never be president again. Listen to what he does.
Before that September 10th debate scheduled for Philadelphia. So, additionally, we're learning about an incident that took place when former President Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery for a wreath-laying ceremony on Monday.
Thank you, Ginger.
NPR was the first to report that two Trump campaign staffers had a confrontation with a cemetery official who tried to prevent them from filming. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen...
No. Will. I can't even believe you, Will. You're going to come in here with your photo of you in your military garb, and you're going to talk about the You're going to sit here and talk about the Democrats? Will, nope, Will. Come on in the box, Will. Will, get in the box. Everyone who is sending those subscriptions, Papa, thank you for those subscriptions. Gerald, Mallory, thank you for those subscriptions. Redhead, let's go. Will, former chemical warfare, and Will says DC Democrats are a disease. Will, get in the box. All right, because listen to what your cult leader did at Arlington. All right, disrespecting our men and women in uniform. For what? For his campaign? And then he gets on record and lies about it?
Chung denied portions of the report, saying that no physical altercation occurred, adding that the campaign would be willing to release footage.
Release it.
That an official had tried to physically block members of the former president's team during the cemetery. Arlington National Cemetery later put out a statement confirming an incident took place and a report had been filed.
So we got two groups of people lying. Either Arlington Cemetery is lying or Donald Trump and his campaign are lying, all right? Sorry, I had something on my chin. So who's lying? Is it Arlington National Cemetery who went as far as to file a report? So we got Donald Trump going somewhere that's sacred. And what does he do? He uses it as a photo op, all right? And what does he do in the photo? He puts his thumbs up over the graves of our men and women in uniform. Are there any Trump supporters in here? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter and you think this is acceptable. I didn't think so.
The statement reads...
Oh, you don't think he did it? You don't think he put a 1 over their graves? All right, I don't... Listen, I'm not doing this to be disrespectful, but I'm going to show very briefly. Look at him. Look at him. You can see him. Look at that. MAGA. Look at that. Let's get back to a real commander-in-chief. Someone that really respects our troops. So what's wrong? You don't see anything wrong with that, you evil individual. You are. I don't even think you're a patriot.
Part this way. Federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within Army National Military Cemeteries to include photographers, content creators, or any other.
So federal law prohibited Donald Trump from doing that. Do you still have a question about what's wrong? Because I know you're not thinking. You can't think when the MAGA demon is possessing you. I'm doing the thinking for you. That's why I'm here and you're where you're at. He broke the law. I'm not surprised, but that's what he did. Killed because of, Texas whiskey. I got something for you. You guys think you think this is a one-off. I get it.
Persons attending for purposes or in direct support.
You know what makes this even more interesting? And why the good Lord. See, there's universal laws that work. Everything Donald Trump does, it always comes out in the wash. Yesterday, we had Trump supporter after Trump supporter come onto the show. Where was Kamala? Where was Joe Biden? Talking about the Arlington Cemetery photo op Donald Trump did. Totally trying to honor the people who lost their lives in Afghanistan. And that was your thing. That was your shtick. But now we find out what really happened while he was putting his thumbs up on the graves of our men and women in uniform. There was a fight. There was an altercation that took place behind the scenes because we had people there saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to break the law and disrespect our troops. And Donald Trump and his campaign were fighting to break the law. This is a sickness. For those of you who keep asking why I refer to you and say you have the MAGA demon, this is another example of why I say it.
Of a partisan political candidate's campaign. So Mike Barnicle, the Trump campaign attended this event on Monday. It was the anniversary of the death of some American service members in Afghanistan as part of the evacuation effort there 3 years ago. They're trying to make that a major problem for the Biden-Harris administration in the context of this campaign. But I know a lot of military veterans were very uncomfortable with the idea that Trump was there at all, and that he even at one point posed for a photograph with family members with a big smile and thumbs up on their face. Now, we should note some of the family members were doing the same, but that's their right. Donald Trump, it's seemingly very strange that he would do the same. And some of these veterans were sort of just aghast that even in any way, shape, or form, Arlington National Cemetery, arguably the most sacred place in our country, was being used as a backdrop for a political purpose.
Are there any Trump supporters out there that believe what Donald Trump did at Arlington National Cemetery was acceptable? Understanding what we've just discussed, what we just went over. Are there still any Trump Okay, Clayton, come on, Clayton. I got something for you, Clayton. Can Clayton even get in the box? I always do this, Clayton, and here's the rule. If I invite your special behind to get in the box and you decline it, I'm going to tell my moderators to mute you. All right? For a good 5 minutes, all right? So you could just sit down and let Zeus continue to administer to your to minister to your souls. See, Clayton, you don't believe that. See, it's the demon talking, but Clayton doesn't really believe that, just the demon. But then as soon as I told the demon to get in the box, guess what the demon did? Decline. The box is where you get to talk to Zeus and all of us who are here listening. Real men don't. Oh, true alpha. All right, true alpha, get on in the box then. Put some meat on the bone. It's funny how you would say such a thing knowing that the way you got into the world was through a woman. Okay, so that was where you first started getting led. So true alpha, get in the box. Let's have a conversation. All right, since you're so alpha, ladies and gentlemen, we're 0 for 2 with MAGA today. They know the end is near. They know the end is near. And guess who's helping? We are all a part of something great. We are saving this country one day at a time, addressing these MAGA demons in real time. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. We're 0 for 2. MAGA. Oh, you said what's the end? It's the end of MAGA. First, it started with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, in order to unite the country and give us a little more superpower, he decided to go ahead and endorse Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris, she consolidated the power so fast, you are all still trying to figure out how she did it. But she's going to be your next president and put the final nail in the coffin. MAGA, in case you haven't seen it, you got women, especially women of color, surrounding you. Starting with Kamala Harris. How about Justice Ketanji Brown on the Supreme Court? How about Letitia James, huh? How about Fani Willis? How about Judge Tanya Chutkin? When I say the end is here and the end is near, MAGA, that's what I mean. You're not going to win in November. Your party is not diverse. We all see it. Your party is possessed with a MAGA demon. We all see it. And you don't respect our troops. They don't respect our troops. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of these moments where you say, well, is this a one-off with Donald Trump, or do we have more examples of Donald Trump disrespecting our men and women in uniform? So I said, let's get this on the books, all right? All right, I want this on the books, all right? I want to make sure we give reverence to our men and women in uniform at all times. The comments that are being made, that I'm playing, are meant in no way to disrespect our troops. I am simply doing this to help these Trump supporters understand why Donald Trump is unfit to be president of the United States of America. So let's start out with Donald Trump's record in the military, all right?
Trump himself never served in uniform. He sought 4 deferments and 1 medical disqualification, citing bone spurs in his foot to avoid going to Vietnam.
So Donald Trump avoided going to Vietnam, citing bone spurs in his foot. Do y'all think it could get worse? Do y'all think it could get worse? What's worse than avoiding going to Vietnam? Well, that's a great question.
Now, getting back to dating, right? And when you got to say to a woman, hey, listen, you got to go to my personal doctor, and I'm going to have you checked out. Is that a tough thing to say to a woman, or you just got the balls to say it?
You know, I'll tell you, it's amazing. I can't even believe it. I've been so lucky,
Right.
in terms of that whole world.
You've never gotten a social disease.
It is a dangerous world out there.
It is.
Scary. It's like Vietnam, sort of like, you know,
It is.
Vietnam.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't
It is
it?
my personal
It is. You've said that many
Vietnam.
times.
Like a great and very brave soldier.
A lot of guys who went through Vietnam came out unscathed. A lot of guys who've gone through the 80s having sex with different women came out with AIDS and all kinds of
They
things.
survived Vietnam.
This is better than Vietnam, but it's...
A little better, but every vagina is a landmine. Haven't we both said that in private?
Potential.
A potential landmine?
I think
That's right. So,
there's some real danger there.
when you go to a bar, do you...
So we're going to go ahead and say we can't go to Vietnam because we got bone spurs. But then you go out here and start hooking up with women and you call that your Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Donald Trump what he deserves. Let's give him a round of boos and shame. All right, because he's been disrespecting our men and women in uniform since day one.
Silence, you MAGA Demons.
I tried to, but let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and hear some more remarks Donald Trump has made about our men and women in uniform.
In the past, he's attacked former prisoners of war like Senator John McCain, who spent 5 years in captivity.
He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He is a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Trump's former chief of staff, retired General John Kelly, also said Trump once refused to visit the graves of fallen American soldiers in France, calling them, quote, losers, something Trump has denied.
You hear that? No. See, this is what happens. See, I got these folks in the chat, these Trump supporters, they want to talk about Ukraine now. I'm not talking about nothing but your daddy. Explain these remarks. Do I need to play it again? You didn't hear what he had to say?
In the past, he's attacked former prisoners of war like Senator John McCain, who spent 5 years in captivity.
He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He is a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
Is there any Trump supporter in here that believes that's acceptable? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter and believe that's acceptable. Oh, I'm not. Well, you know what? I'm not tired. Don't let the smooth look fool you. Oh, Joyce, you think that's acceptable, Joyce? You know what, Joyce? If you don't mind, Joyce. Joyce, could you please get in the box? Get in the box, Joyce. When I'm up here cooking like this, Joyce, I don't need people up here, getting twisted about what's going on. Joyce, I sent you a guest request. Joyce, come on up here. Clayton, I already sent you a guest request, and you had nothing to say. How about this?
July 17. It was a critical meeting at the Pentagon early on in his presidency. Jim Mattis, Rex Tillerson, Gary Cohn tried to inform the president why America's safety hinged on alliances, trade deals, military bases around the world. They used maps and graphics to try to stop Trump from getting bored. But the president was not impressed by the presentation. With leaders of the military branches around the table, the president railed against the war in Afghanistan for starters, and then things got worse.
What?
In an article adapted from their book, Rucker and Lenig write, Trump's comments, quote, stunned nearly everyone in the room, and some vowed they would never repeat them. Indeed, they have not been reported until now. I wouldn't go to war with you people, Trump told the assembled brass. Addressing the room, the commander-in-chief barked, you're a bunch of dopes and babies.
Wow. Are men and women in uniform? Donald Trump says he wouldn't go to war with them, and they're a bunch of dopes and babies. Young man, as a Democrat, we are tired with Democrat lies. Hold on. You only got 1 follower, so this is going to be quick. Get in the box. You bot. That's a MAGA bot right there. That's a MAGA demon right there. He hears me. They hear what I'm saying. They hear what Donald Trump is saying. And all they could do is try to put themselves in here as a victim. You're not victims. You're the ones who are the harassers and the abusers. What do you have to say about Donald Trump saying he wouldn't go to war with you and then calling you dopes and babies? And this is the same guy, in case you didn't know his war record.
Trump himself never served in uniform. He sought 4 deferments and 1 medical disqualification, citing bone spurs in his foot to avoid going to Vietnam.
He gonna say that our men and women in uniform, he wouldn't go to war with them, and then calls them dopes and babies like they don't know his military record. Do we need to go worse, ladies and gentlemen? Do we need to get another example of how Donald Trump disrespects our troops?
Laura and Calvin, the White House confirming that the president has called all 4 families today. Representative Frederica Wilson tonight telling me that she heard the call to the widow of LaDavid Johnson, and she says she heard a comment from the president that she believes was, quote, insensitive and insane.
Minutes before she was grieving the death of her husband across his casket, President Trump calling widow Maisha Johnson.
So insensitive.
Representative Frederica Wilson was with the widow and says she heard the call by speakerphone and says she heard the president say he knew what he signed up for, but when it happens, it hurts anyway.
Yeah, he said that. So insensitive. He should not have said that, and he shouldn't have said it.
The president speaking on the death of South Florida's LaDavid Johnson and 3 other soldiers killed in Niger, falsely saying other presidents didn't contact families of the fallen.
President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls.
Now today, after former Attorney General Eric Holder tweeted, "Stop the damn lying, you're the president," Trump bending slightly on those comments during a series of radio interviews.
I really speak for myself. I'm not speaking for other people. I don't know what Bush did. I don't know what Obama did.
But the president then...
You see that? You see that, MAGA? Raider 160. You don't even have enough. You don't have enough people to get in the box. What we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're exposing the fact that Donald Trump, he doesn't care about our men and our women in uniform. And these supporters of his know it. So I don't want to hear them bringing up, oh, where was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden when it came to our men and women in uniform? We don't want to hear it. Because look at all of this evidence that we continue to bring you that shows you Donald J. Trump does not respect our troops. Trump only cares about Trump. Look at these liars in the chat. All right, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in the box. Come on in the box. These Trump supporters, they can't defend this stuff. And they know it. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, please. Tell us all why we are wrong. Oh, Judy, you want to talk to Zeus? Come on up here, Judy. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. They don't accept the invite. They go, oh. You know what, Zeus? I'm having second thoughts about it. All right. Don't be afraid. This is your daddy. Oh, we got 2. Okay, well, listen, I only could talk to 1.
You think I'm afraid? I'm not afraid, sir.
Okay. Okay. Let me start with you then. You're the one that seems like you're the strongest. Clarence White.
Yeah, that's my name, sir. Thank you.
What part of the country are you calling in from?
Michigan.
Okay, and you're supporting this guy who doesn't respect our troops.
No, I'm supporting the guy that does support our troops, and you're ignorant to the fact because you don't know anything about who he is. You're watching too many of the 3-letter mafia to find out the facts, and there's no facts there. If you actually knew who controlled the media, you would not go there for any information at all.
Okay,
because
I get that.
The media is controlled by DOJ, which
Okay.
is totally controlled by Democrats, and their demonic influence of terrorism is going to destroy our country.
Okay, make that make sense. Make that make Clarence.
History.
Can make Clarence. Clarence.
What?
Simplify that. Simplify what you're trying to say. So what does all that boil down to in your world? In your world.
Listen to me.
No.
All that boils down to.
Well, listen. You better take that bass out of your voice when you're talking to me now. This is my platform.
All right.
We don't do that over here.
I apologize. Okay.
Yeah.
Say what I got to say.
I'm trying because here's the deal, Clarence. I've talked to so many people who I would say have been radicalized and they're possessed with the MAGA demon. What I'm here to do, Clarence.
By any demon. If you ever heard, did you hear him proclaim that he's now following Jesus Christ?
I heard that. But the devil knows.
You can't do that and not have Christ in you, okay?
Okay.
Now get back to my point. Can I get back to my point now?
Woo!
Can I get back to my point?
Can I get back to my point? Okay, but can we go back to that Jesus thing when you're done? Can we go?
Man's heart.
Can we? Okay, can we go back to the Jesus thing when you're done though? I'll see. Okay. Get to this point first. Clarence.
Okay, my main point is when media first got the okay to be a public platform for news information, they agreed to not be in politics at all, to be a total media platform, not be biased in any way.
The media.
Okay? Now
but
look at it.
But what about social? But listen, Clarence.
They're all Democrat media.
Clarence.
All information comes from DOJ.
Okay, I get it. You believe the media is biased. I think. Clarence. Are you banging on the dashboard?
No, I'm banging on my horn, actually.
Why are you banging on your horn?
Well,
you have that's the stuff.
People are.
But that's why. That's Clarence.
That the media has been one-sided for decades now.
Is the air conditioner turned on? Is your window up or down?
If you can't recognize that as terrorism, you got a problem.
Okay, I got it. So you don't trust the media because you believe the media is biased.
They are. They're liars.
Okay. Now, you see how I understood? That's what you're saying. So now I have to go ahead and add to that. So there's social media, right? Clarence?
Yeah, there is.
And do you think social media is biased? Let's take, for instance, that platform X, which is formerly known as Twitter, is so they're biased because I think X is exactly what you're trying to say all these other media platforms are. I think they're just as guilty, and they do it for Donald Trump and the people, and they do that for people on the right. Facebook
Well,
too.
you're right, but
Okay,
the thing
okay,
of it
okay,
is,
okay. So,
the thing of it is,
but
I
here,
found more people
but here's the
supporting
thing.
Kamala.
But here's the thing. You actually have the ability to go independently research anything. That's what makes the internet so powerful,
You're
right?
right.
So there's,
Right.
as far as I'm concerned,
But the problem is,
but no, listen. As far as I'm concerned, everyone has that responsibility. If you believe a
That's right.
lie and you don't
You're
use
right.
the tools that are available to go out here and get to the truth, then that's on you.
You're right. Exactly. You're correct.
Okay, so we agree
100%
on
right.
that. Okay, we agree on that. So now that that's
Everyone's
out there,
responsibility to know
now that
what they
that's out
don't
there.
know before they make a vote.
Okay, right. So far we're on social media.
Right. I'm not
I've been
talking about the
playing.
news platforms. I'm talking about ABC, CBS.
Okay,
CNN.
okay.
I'm talking about
I get
news
that.
platforms. I'm
I
not
get
talking
that.
about all the bull crap on friggin' Facebook.
And
I'm
there's
talking
other
about
platforms like
platforms
Fox.
that were originally created,
Listen.
given a license by our government to be a media platform.
Okay,
or
Clarence.
informational tool.
Clarence.
They were made to be an informational tool.
Clarence.
Not a biased platform for
Clarence, how
Democrats.
old are you?
I'm 60 years old.
Why do I have to keep asking you to listen? Why do people have to keep asking you to listen? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, so why are you up here acting like you don't know how to have a civilized conversation?
Is there anything civilized on the Democrat side? I don't see it.
What this conversation is?
Well, okay,
I think it's okay to listen. I believe it's okay. I believe it.
Conversation. Can we have a
Listen.
factual conversation? Or are you going to go off of made up lies?
Okay, so what part was made up so far out of all the information I've given? Because I'm giving you statement.
Anything about Kamala Harris is false that you have.
Okay. So let's start here. Can we start here, sir?
Let me finish my point, please.
No, because we got too much. No. Ladies and gentlemen, Clarence is losing it. Clarence, I'm only talking about Donald Trump and how he treats our men and women in uniform. All right? I'm glad that you've checked in and let me know you don't trust the media. All right? And I don't trust the media. To be quite honest, that's why. Oh, Clarence has left the building, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Clarence, why so angry? Clarence, why so angry? Yeah. So we can't get the truth out of Clarence. What we got was he's a victim of the media. Clarence, you're possessed with the MAGA demon. Ladies and gentlemen, let that be an example of what happens when you get in the box and you talk to Zeus. You end up getting scared and you run for the hills. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm turning up the temperature on the lake of fire for Clarence. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Clarence a round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. Bye, Clarence.
MAGA Demons.
If you're not happy here,
Goodbye, Clarence.
then you can leave.
Good morning, Mr. Cohen. How are you doing, my good friend?
Good morning, Zeus.
Wow, what a pleasure to have you here on the
It's an
show.
honor to be here with you.
Wow. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, normally I'm on your show, but you see what we're doing. Whoa, we got the camera on too. This guy right here, legendary. Wow.
I'm talking to the legend right now. So,
Well, listen.
let me, if I can, Clarence, I hope that you're still listening to the show. Let's talk a couple of things that are factual. I know Donald Trump better than you. In fact, that's true. I know Donald Trump better than just about anybody. That's also factually accurate.
Bingo.
I have been in the office with Donald Trump when he criticized and disparaged military servicemen who returned from Iraq with no legs, no arm, half a face blown off, including an ear, and so on. I'm telling you, I was there. And the things that he said are so disgusting. And you know that I'm not shy.
No, you're not.
No.
Go ahead, tell them, because they don't believe
I don't even want to repeat it because it's truly disgusting and disgraceful. This man was involved in his I think it was his Humvee that went over an IED. I mean, took his arms, his legs, his ear, part of his face. And Trump wanted to know what would possess him to want to live. Imagine. Forgetting about the fact that he had a wife and children. It was all about the looks and the fact that it was very hard for him to even be in the same room as this guy because of the damage that this man had sustained to himself.
Wow.
And I don't even know how to describe sort of the emotion that everybody else in the room felt when listening to that, other than to say just sheer disgust. And that's really what it was. So when this idiot,
get him!
There's no other way to describe him, this maggot, and I describe them as individuals with 3 teeth and 4 brain cells. When you want to believe that Donald Trump cares about America, that he cares about you, Donald Trump wouldn't cross the street to piss on you if you were on fire, because that would mean he would actually have to do something for someone. He'd have to walk across the street out of his way to do something.
Do you hear this, Clarence?
I'm sorry?
I'm telling Clarence, did he hear this? Because the thing that I keep asking them, Michael, is how come they don't trust the people like you who've actually laid eyes on Donald Trump and work for him? You can tell him the realities. They don't see this connection.
Or how about the people that were with him as well that are now Republicans for Harris? Talk about Olivia Troy, Stephanie Grisham, Melissa Farah. You're talking about John Bolton. You're talking about Panetta. You're talking about people, highly educated people that worked in the White House. How about this one? Mike Pence, the former vice president of the United States, refuses to back Donald Trump, the man who wanted to have him killed. You remember they were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," Clarence? Do you not understand this? Do you understand that if chances are, if you're living in Michigan, you probably have something to do with, let's say, the auto industry. Donald Trump did not go and did not care about the United Auto Workers. You know who did? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Do you know
Let's go! Tell them!
Do you know who the UAW is backing right now? They're backing Kamala Harris. Why?
Let's go!
Has tried to bust the union his entire life. So if you're a union guy, honestly, I don't know how to say this nicer, but fuck you.
I don't know either. I mean, no. Wow, Michael. I mean, go ahead. Please continue to tell these folks the truth.
Because you believe that all the media is disingenuous, that they're liars, that they are biased and so on. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this one. Newsmax, OAN, Fox News, right? Trump's Truth Social platform, right? Now X.
Yes.
What about if I show you a document?
Wait. What is that?
This is an order granting preliminary injunction. When I was unconstitutionally remanded, my lawyer, Danya Perry, filed what's called a writ of habeas corpus. So, Clarence, pay attention here. You're going to learn something today. All right, brother? You're going to learn something today. It's called the writ of habeas corpus.
Okay.
She files this action within which to have me removed from incarceration for an unconstitutional remand by Donald Trump.
Weaponization of the DOJ.
Of the Justice Department.
Wow.
And here's what 30-year federal court judge Alvin K. Hellerstein wrote based upon that unconstitutional remand. The court finds that respondents, Bill Barr, DOJ, Trump, etc., the court finds that respondents' purpose in transferring Cohen from release on furlough and home confinement back to custody was retaliatory in response to Cohen desiring to exercise his First Amendment rights to publish a book critical of the president and to discuss the book on social media.
Wow!
Accordingly, respondents are hereby enjoined from any continuing or future retaliation against Cohen for exercising his First Amendment rights. So, dear Clarence, let me explain. No president in the history of this country, in our 248-year history, has ever pulled this sort of bullshit. That they have never incarcerated a critic, making me the first political prisoner held by my own country because I refused to waive my First Amendment constitutional right. Buy the book. It's only like $1.
Wow.
If you can't afford it, I'll send you one. So let me be clear about something. This man, Donald Trump, is a fascist. This man is an autocratic wannabe. He wants to be the supreme leader, the monarch, the Führer, the dictator, the king. That's what he wants to be. So if you, dear old Clarence, want to be subjugated by this man, you want to pledge your fealty to him, as I once did, I promise you and everybody else that what will ultimately happen, your ass will find itself behind bars, because at some point in your life, your children, your grandchildren will come to you and say, hey, Pop or Grandpa, the fuck were you thinking? What were you thinking? Explain to me why you didn't stand up and do something to protect our democratic republic. And if it's a granddaughter or a daughter, what were you thinking, Pop, when you allowed this man to interfere in my constitutional right, a right that was conferred more than 50 years ago? A man who went ahead and put people onto the Supreme Court to overturn, as example, Roe versus Wade, using the Dobbs decision, so that women today have less rights, specifically their reproductive decision-making rights.
Yep.
That you know better than they do, but they have less rights than their grandmothers. And that's the man that you want to back? Shame on you.
It's a sad thing. You know, you brought up something. I often tell the Trump supporters, if you follow Donald Trump, you're going to get the ultimate MAGA reward, all right? Jail, and if you don't get your soul right, hell, with the Chapter 11 in between, right? And Rudy Giuliani, others like you were mentioning who've supported him, you've made it clear the end road is you're going to be incarcerated at some point. Why do you think that despite the fact that they know this, why do they still want to be around this guy? What is the thing that attracted them to him, in your opinion?
You know, because they're stupid. But more importantly, the crazier part is one of the people in your comment, one of your followers just put in a comment.
What did they say?
This is brilliant. Democrats are for post-birth abortions.
Oh.
Now, I was on CNN last night with Jim Acosta, and we were talking about this. So you all understand, especially you, Clarence, because again, today is a teaching day for you. It's a teaching day.
Bye, Clarence.
Post-birth abortion is not abortion, it's called murder. When a fetus, when a baby is born, the second that baby is out of the uterus, that child is a living child. That child is conferred all of the rights you and I and everybody else are. If you kill that baby after it is born, it is called murder. This whole notion that Trump said, and it upset me very much that Joe Biden and those that were doing the debate did not jump all over this and say, Donald, you do understand, you dipshit, that a post-birth abortion is tantamount in the eyes of the law to murder. That's a fact, Clarence. That's a fact. Whether you want to believe it or not is irrelevant. I cannot. My grandma and my grandpa used to always say, you can't debate stupid. You could try to teach them, but you can't debate stupid.
Well, they believe we're the ones that have been brainwashed, right?
Sure.
What do you think is there any truth to the fact that perhaps you, sir, or maybe even myself, somewhere along the way, we went down the wrong path and abandoned the United States by siding with folks like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? Is there any truth to that?
Show me any data. Show me anything that's factually accurate towards that statement. What I want to turn around and tell them is, I understand that this now gives you a sense of being. You are now part of a community. It might be a community of stupid people.
Yes.
People who believe misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. That's okay. That's okay. But aren't you more interested in the reality? Aren't you more interested in the future of our democratic republic?
They say they are. They say they are. They say they're patriots and they're trying to take back their country.
Okay. Notice something about Clarence, right?
He was banging on the dashboard. Yes, I heard that.
Clarence is a hillbilly. All right. He's a hillbilly. I'm telling you, he's probably up from somewhere in the upper panhandle of Michigan. Right?
Okay.
Where, listen, with all due respect, Zeus, he's probably never spent a single day, probably never broke bread.
Clarence, are you there?
And
maybe we could get Clarence to come up here and give us a little bit more meat on the bone. Clarence, put one in the chat, Clarence, if you would like to come up here and help us understand what part of the country you hail from.
You are not, in his eyes, his equal. All right? He is definitively, again, it's my opinion, and I don't know him, I never met him. I'm just telling you based upon his statements and what I have seen over the course of my decade and a half being around people who are Trump supporters now. It's all about white privilege. He has a problem with you. He has a problem with Kamala Harris. He has a problem with not just the fact that she's a woman, but that she's a black woman. It's all about white privilege for them. They just don't get it.
It is true. They're saying what you're saying is not true, Michael. And I try to keep these comments clean. Listen, I don't know how much time you got, Michael, but one of the things we do here is we like to invite some MAGA up here and some others and let them get a dose of reality. Are you okay with that? All right. And if they get too out of control, I have the mute button and I will drop them like a bad habit.
Look, please understand. I'm not concerned about MAGAs making derogatory comments. When you are trying to stand up for truth to power, especially when you have this 38% of the Republican Party, right, that feels that they need to control the situation, the conversation, like Clarence was trying to do.
Yeah.
You become immune to their stupidity.
I'm totally with you. Nothing they say bothers me. So listen, if you are a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat. Because what we're going to do today, this is a very special day. We're going to get you out of that cult today. All right. So all Trump supporters, please. I'm going to talk to some of our mutuals too, because I think this is very important. But I want to hear. Okay, Laura, come on in the box, Laura. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring Laura up. She's the first one to put a 1. Who else do we have? We have Shannon. All right. And this isn't going to take long, ladies and gentlemen, because you just got to be willing. Who do we have right there? Let's see. Laura, are you there?
Yes.
You're a Trump supporter?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to turn your camera on? I mean, this is a special day.
I've never done this before.
Yeah. We want to see, we want to get the camera going and we want to see and hear from you, all right? If you don't mind,
Okay.
all right?
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem
Laura,
with that.
where are you from?
Illinois.
Oh.
Illinois.
What is it worrying about?
I'm trying.
Come on now, let's get it going. All right, this is a very, very time is of the essence. All right, you know how to hit the
Money and money is time.
There you go. That was a good one. Do you know how? Shoot. Let me see. What you got to do is you have to hit, what is it, the multi-guess?
Right.
And then you see the camera option. Does she have enough followers? I don't think you have enough followers. All right.
No,
I
I
don't.
probably don't.
All right. So, Laura, let me ask
Yes.
you a serious question. You've heard what
Okay.
we're talking about.
Yeah, I just came in on it.
Okay, so what did you hear so far? I'm just curious. Did you hear us talking about how Donald Trump isn't respecting our troops? You heard about
I didn't hear that.
you heard about Michael's experience working directly with Trump and
I
where it
heard
all
about-
where it all leads to. Why are you still in the cult?
Well, it's not a cult. It's we need to take America back.
Okay, can I ask you, take America back from what?
It's the Democrats. And
That's some, okay. But take
we need to
America
take it back
Laura.
from all the crap that's happening in the United States. It's terrible. Everything is terrible in the United States right now.
So are you going to have the
so-
conversation with Michael, Laura, or are you just going to talk? We want you to talk to Mike. I want you to talk to
Oh,
Michael.
okay, fine.
So Laura, if I may just ask you, what's terrible? What's terrible about America?
The economy,
Whoa,
our
okay.
credibility.
Wait. Let's just take it real slow here for a second. Our economy is terrible.
Yes, if you need it slow, we can take it slow.
Okay, I do, because I really need to be able to explain to you facts.
Okay.
Right now, currently,
Uh-huh.
is the stock market not at the all-time high ever in the history of this country? Not the answer is yes.
Well,
Go turn on CNBC.
I disagree with you on the economy.
Hold
I
on.
disagree.
You
I'm
can disagree,
struggling
but
to buy
Laura,
groceries.
Laura, are you an economist?
No.
Okay.
But I tell you this, I'm struggling. I'm an everyday American who is struggling to buy groceries, put gas in the car, and pay bills.
I don't buy it.
Well, I'm
We don't-
sorry.
Well, listen, did you
You
go
don't
any?
have to buy it. I wish I could sell it, but
So let
I'm
me ask you a
struggling.
question.
yes.
When Trump was in office, what
Yes.
were you doing? Were you doing great and going vacations everywhere you wanted to go?
Yes, I was a stay-at-home mom when Trump
Okay.
was in office.
Okay. And so what day or what moment in your life did it all change and go downhill in terms of your ability to thrive in the United States? Was it the exact day he walked out of the administration?
No, I'll tell you when it was. It was December 8th, 2020, when I lost my husband to COVID. My life has gone down the toilet. My finances have gone down the toilet. I'm struggling.
And I'm sorry about your loss. I lost my aunt to COVID as well.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you know who I blame for that?
Well, probably Trump.
The same person you should be blaming.
Well, I don't.
The person who stood up on a stage, ma'am, and said, and I'm
Ma'am?
going to give you the words verbatim.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the words verbatim. It's nothing. It's like the flu. It will be over in less than 3 days before the end of the weekend. He then had Mike Pence go ahead and repeat the same lie over and over. Like your husband, there are 1 million empty chairs
Yes.
around dinner tables in America. That's the direct result of the president of the United States at the time, Donald J. Trump, the man who, by the way, stupidly did not take credit for having the vaccination created, but he refused to have the injection on television, as Barack Obama did, as George Bush did, as Bill Clinton did, telling people that COVID is real, that we are in a pandemic, and that everybody should get inoculated so that we can get what's called herd immunity. That's a fact. Instead, this Mandarin-crusted Mussolini came up with this bullshit about injecting bleach into your lungs or somehow getting high-powered ultraviolet light into your body.
That's funny.
All right? So Laura,
Yeah, that's
my
funny
heart-
because it's crap.
Laura, before I let you talk, my heart goes out to you. Losing a spouse over something that you did not have to lose him.
No, I didn't.
You did not. Because Trump is a science denier. He doesn't believe in the vaccination. He didn't believe in climate change. He doesn't believe in anything other than whatever his own transactional benefit is. So I'm sorry for you. And I understand, losing your spouse, and he probably was the bread earner in the family as the stay-home mom. Mm-hmm. And as a stay-home mom, right, I don't know if you have a daughter. Are you not furious about the overturning of 50-year stare decisis of Roe versus Wade? I'm a dad. I'm a girl dad. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, it's not even the word isn't furious. I'm apoplectic over the whole thing.
Well, I have 4 daughters.
And you should be too.
And I'm not livid about it.
Hold on, Laura. Now, hold on, Laura.
I want to also, as a mom, that you want to leave this country better to your children and your grandchildren, and God willing, great-grandchildren, better and stronger than you got it. Am I right?
Yes, I want, and I think Trump can do that.
No, Laura, I just wanted to call to something to your attention. You said, and I'm sorry your husband passed away, but you said it was in December of 2020, right?
Yes.
And that's when your problem started. But I just want you to know Trump was still president at that time. I just want to make sure.
I understand that.
Okay.
I voted for him.
Okay, but you said your suffering started while he was president.
Well, that was my overall suffering, but yes. But I lost my husband.
So, okay, but ma'am.
You lost your husband because of Trump.
Do you see?
You heard what? Because of Trump.
Do you hear what Michael just said?
No, you were talking. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you lost your husband because of Trump.
I disagree.
Your financial condition is because of the loss of your husband, and that again. And I'm terribly, and I'm so sorry for your loss. It was unnecessary. As I lost my aunt, unnecessary. I miss her all the time.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah,
but you also
you can't keep saying it's Joe Biden and the Democrats. That's why I'm putting that out there. That's why Michael is saying that, because they were nowhere on the scene at this moment. So we just went over all the misinformation and disinformation that Trump put out during the pandemic that cost Americans their lives. And a lot of us have been in, a lot of us, ma'am, stay on topic, please.
Oh, believe me, I am.
Why does your mind go all over the place when we're just talking about one thing? We're trying to help you.
Please, come on, guys. Come on.
Has Michael lied about anything? Have I lied about anything?
Oh, probably everything. If you're stating that it's all Trump's fault, I don't believe that. I believe that's true at all.
Did he not tell everyone not to get the vaccination, despite the fact that it was under his administration? It was called Warp Speed. Remember Operation Warp Speed? They came up with this vaccination, but he refused to be inoculated. Do you not remember that?
No, I don't.
You don't? Well, please do me a favor right now and go to Google and Google it. And go to Fox News. Go to Fox News, go to OAN and Newsmax, because they reported it as well. A fact is a fact. Whether you want to believe it or not, a fact doesn't change because you want to have a myopic view onto it.
But that's not true. That's not true. The media changes facts to suit them all the time. All the time. They change the facts.
Laura, you're doing it again.
What
right?
am I doing?
This is why I say you're possessed with the MAGA demon. Right?
Well, then thank God.
No, don't bring God into this. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. So you know about lying and how that's a terrible thing, right?
Yes, I do, as well as you should.
Okay, so do you know Donald Trump lied over 30,000 times while he was in office?
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. Well, how's Biden's cognitive ability doing? Huh? You guys want to talk one-sided about someone being a liar? We could talk all day.
You say he's a Christian, though. You're a Christian, right? How do you align with Donald Trump, a man with his morals? Did you hear about some of the stuff he's done? For instance, For instance, you heard about the whole Stormy Daniels thing, right?
Oh yeah, that was I heard. I hear about all that.
What do you
I
think
hear
about
exactly
that?
what the
What do
media
you,
wants
what,
us to
but,
hear.
ma'am, it wasn't
Yes.
just the media. It actually went to court, and there was
Yeah, I know
Donald
it.
Trump not? Are you saying that Donald Trump didn't have a relationship with Stormy Daniels?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Are you saying that Donald Trump didn't have a relationship with Karen McDougal?
I'm not saying any of that.
Okay, I'm just.
Does it, but you're a
I'm just
Christian.
saying-
What I'm trying to do is I'm
You
just
got to be
trying to
careful what you
establish-
say because it can come
I'm
back and
just
bite you
trying
in the
to
butt for being
establish-
guilty of the same thing.
Right, but Laura, I'm just trying to establish things called facts. That's
Okay.
it. Just facts.
Okay.
And then
Make
based
sure you
off of-
establish them correctly.
Well, did Donald Trump have a relationship with Stormy Daniels?
Probably. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going
Did
to
Donald
okay.
Trump-
Just to
did Donald
appease you,
Trump-
I'm going to say yes.
Well,
No.
please don't appease me. This isn't about me. This is about you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did Donald Trump have a relationship?
Why
with
is this
Karen
about
McDougal?
me?
Because you're the one that needs to get out of the cult. But please,
No, honey,
please
I don't
answer.
think
Please
so.
answer Michael's questions. Please, we're getting somewhere, Laura, and I think we're getting a breakthrough with you.
No,
I
you're
think
not
I could.
getting it.
So he.
You're not. It'll never ever happen. The last 16 years, who's been in charge of the administration? Democrats. Look
ma'am.
at us.
No.
Look at us.
No.
Man.
The
We
last
had a
16
reprieve of 4
years.
years.
What are you talking about? Not 4. What about George Bush? What about George H.W. Bush?
No, I'm talking about after George H.W. Bush. I'm talking about sweet Bill Clinton.
Ma'am, we were talking about Donald Trump and his immoral
Yeah.
conduct because you told Zeus you were a Christian, and I'm just trying to figure out how how a Christian like you found yourself standing next to a person like Donald Trump, considering the things that he's done. So you agree he
You'll
hooked up?
never see me standing next to Biden.
Wait.
No, you
Grab
don't have to
him.
because Joe Biden's not running. It's Kamala
I know,
Harris.
thank God.
No. But again, you're getting a little worked up. So you know about him and these women that he's been with, right?
Okay, yeah.
And he's cheating on his wives while he's doing this. Am I right, Michael? Is he cheating?
When she had just had Barron, just had Barron, and he has 2 women on this side. I mean, that doesn't really sound godly, does it?
Oh man.
Well,
You know, you can put your twist and your spin on it.
Okay.
That's not a spin.
How about this one?
Yes, honey,
Laura,
it is
that's
a
not a
spin.
spin. It's a fact.
You spin it to suit you. I mean,
Ma'am.
that's fine. If it's fact, that's fine.
Ma'am.
I don't care.
Ma'am, how about this?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
If Ivanka wasn't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I did think of that. Why don't you play the whole snippet from the beginning, okay? You know what? I'm trying to be a fair person.
No, you're
and
not.
I'm trying.
You want me to play something else here?
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Hold on.
Either real estate.
No. I'm gonna mute you on mute. Now listen to this.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father? Either real estate or golf. Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't really tell.
Okay, Laura. Now, what do you think about that? I'm gonna ask you to hit unmute. Laura, hit unmute. All right, because see, you're possessed with this MAGA demon thing, and we don't got time to play around with you. Laura, can you hit unmute? See, unfortunately,
Is that better?
yes.
better.
Now we don't got. You got about 3 more minutes to get it right. All right, and then I gotta move on. We're busy. All right.
See, that's your guys' opinion, okay? That's your opinion.
No, ma'am. That was
Yeah.
Donald Trump. That
That's
was.
not my words. Those are his words. Laura, those are his words. They're not mine. They're not Zeus's.
Okay.
They're not yours. They are
Okay.
his. All we're doing is
So,
laying out a.
are we only going back as far as Trump?
That's
We're
who
not
you
going back
support.
to Clinton?
No, we're not talking
Go
about.
back to the Kennedys?
Are you in the? Are
When
you
you want
in
to
the?
talk about morals and
Are you in the
Christianity?
cult of? Are you in the cult of Clinton?
Oh, God, no.
Right. So we're talking to you because you're
Are
in the
you?
cult. No.
Are you?
No.
Why?
Are you in the cult of Donald Trump?
Nope, it's not a cult. But I'm a
MAGA
big
is a
fan.
cult.
Let me ask you, why didn't you like Bill Clinton?
Ma'am, we're talking about Donald
I
Trump.
know what you're talking about.
I
I'm
don't have a
here.
problem with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
You should
Ma'am,
have
ma'am.
I think he was
Bill
in the
Clinton
cult
isn't
of Clinton.
running.
Thank you, Michael.
I know that. And that's not, I don't care about that right now, who's running. I'm just trying to establish
No,
what
no,
makes it
no.
okay for some guys
Ma'am,
and
ma'am,
not for other guys. It's
ma'am,
their
ma'am.
political
It's not
affiliation.
Ma'am, You just
What?
lied. You do care about who's running. You're voting for Donald Trump.
No, I
See
mean,
how I
at
caught
this
you in a
moment,
lie?
tell you shit too. And
Oh,
in this conversation, I wasn't talking about who's running for president.
okay, but I'm not talking about Bill Clinton. So
Right. Well,
I
but
gotta move.
Well,
Yeah,
somebody brought him up.
Laura, we are talking about who's running because there's a choice that
Yes.
needs to be made.
thank
Yes,
you.
and I
Choice.
hope everybody
It's
makes the
either-
correct choice
It's either going
and
to
makes
be
it
Kamala
Donald
Harris
Trump.
or it's going to be Donald Trump. And
Please.
what I'm saying to you is if you care about America, if you care about America's democratic republic, if you care about keeping democracy and women's rights and so on, you need to vote Kamala Harris in 2024.
No
anything shy of that,
No.
Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, nobody else
Political.
has taken away a woman's right. Something that you enjoyed. You
Let me
Laura,
ask you
have
this.
enjoyed for the last.
Laura, you're done.
Roll
Laura,
this
you're done.
is
Laura,
overturned.
Laura, you're done. Go ahead, Michael. Let's finish her off. And then, by the way, if you think Laura is in a cult, put a 1 in the chat. All right, please go, Michael.
Yeah, my point is you have lost an imperative right that all women, you know, the beauty of America, we have seen this. Thank God we have seen this. We have grown. We continue to grow as a country, whether it's civil rights to women's rights. We have grown as a country until Trump.
Wow.
Until Trump. He's pulling us back. He's pulling us back in terms of civil rights with his attacks continuously on black and brown communities. He's the guy who got up on the very first day that he announced his presidency, calling Mexicans rapists, drug dealers, murderers. This is a man who refused to denounce David Duke, refused to denounce the white supremacist in Charlottesville, screaming, Jews will not replace us. Do you not understand that you yourself, Laura, right at home, have lost an imperative right, the right to a woman's decision-making regarding her reproductive decisions? Do you not understand the importance of that? Did you not watch Netflix's show called The Handmaid's Tale? Donald Trump wants to bring us into a dystopia that you do not want your children and grandchildren and future generations to live in.
Bingo.
Time that you must wake up and understand all of the things that he has done wrong. And we only started with one. We tried to start with the economy, but look at where we ended up.
She's lost. So guess what we're going to do? The crowd has spoken. Laura is possessed with the MAGA demon, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the temperature on the lake of fire. It's really high, all right? And we're going to have to send Laura. And that, I believe Laura's a great person, but that MAGA demon that's got the MAGA demon, no. We're going to have to deal with it accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving this MAGA possessed demon Laura what she deserves, because she's not listening to the truth and she continues to double down on Donald Trump's lies. Join me in giving her a round of, you guessed it, booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA Demon!
I hope you've all learned a very important lesson. What Michael and I have just done, we've cast out another MAGA demon. So that's Clarence and Laura. All right, shame on you. All right, we believe they're great people, right, Michael? They might be great people.
Listen, my heart goes out to Laura. I want to be clear about that. This is not about an animus that I have. I don't know her, right? But what it is when somebody refuses, like Clarence, like Laura, to acknowledge truth, to acknowledge facts, and they only want to run on the concept of innuendo and lies and misinformation and disinformation and malinformation, I hate to say it, there's almost no way to break through. And I believe that Laura, just like Clarence, it's all about white privilege.
It really is. And it's a sad and unfortunate situation. But guess what? No. We're not bullies. We are doing the work that needs to be done to save this country. Remember, I have a rule. I don't allow Trump supporters to be victims around me, all right? Because after January 6th, it was clear you're not the victims, you're the harassers and the abusers. And like I've always said, if you don't like the way we're running this broadcast,
If you're not happy here,
bring up our next guest.
then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S.
The funny thing too, that's a comment by Trump. Saying if you're not happy here, leave. No person I have ever met, none in politics, not a president, not a senator, not a Congress member, not a governor, not a city council member, has shit on America more than Donald Trump. I have never heard anybody turn around and disparage this great country more than he. He who wants to run for the presidency of the United States, saying the things that he's saying, denigrating our law enforcement, our intelligence community, our police officers, our veterans, enough already. It just becomes enough. And if he's unhappy, he should take his own words and he should get the fuck out.
Bingo.
Go.
I agree. Now, who do we have next in this box? A nameless MAGA demon, I suppose. Greetings.
Hello.
Yes, do you want to turn your camera on?
I don't think I have enough followers to do that.
Jesus Christ. So you're on your, well, clearly you don't. 0 followers. All right. What brings you to the broadcast?
So, sir, first, can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Yes, my name is Patrick. I'm from the great state of Florida.
Okay.
Which part of Florida?
Tampa.
Oh, nice. I love Tampa.
So I really came up here for you, Cohen. I don't really understand why you're speaking so harshly about a man that you worked for. You worked for this man. This man paid you millions of dollars, yet you did time. He did not.
Right.
So
he will. First of all, he will. I'm going to suspect, Patrick, that you didn't read my book, Revenge.
No, I did not read your book.
So if you actually did, I think you get a pretty interesting understanding. When I was asked by Trump to come to work for him, I didn't work for Donald Trump because I worked for the paycheck. I didn't need money. I actually retired, Patrick. These are facts. I retired at the age of 39. I got very lucky early on in my career. I was worth over $100 million. I am not a rags to riches story thanks to Donald Trump. In fact, thanks to Donald Trump, it's more like a riches to rags stories. I lost money. I lost my money, not the other way around. All right. So your notion that I went to work, that he paid me millions, how do you know what he paid me? I worked for Donald for over 10 years, and I have tremendous affection for him. I said that at the time of the trial that just took place. I enjoyed working at the Trump org. I enjoyed the responsibility that was conferred upon me. I enjoyed my relationship with him. But, when Donald Trump made the decision, whoever put it into his head probably screwed him up, that the best thing for him to do would be to push me, or to try to push me, under the bus. That was probably his biggest mistake, because I was not going to allow, as I said to George Stephanopoulos, I was not going to let history remember me as the villain of Donald Trump's story. Most of this case that really was being looked at was about Russia, and then it was about the campaign finance violations. There was look, I acknowledge that there was a mistake in the tax returns, $1.3 million over 5 years. But if you read the book, you would know I paid over $4 million in taxes during that same time period. It's not as if I refused to pay taxes. I've never asked for an extension. I've never been audited. I was the first time offender. My CPA, who got paid 40 grand a year to do my taxes, he fucked up, but I'm the one who signed the return. And I acknowledged and I accepted the full responsibility on everything because I was given a choice on a Friday night at 5:30 p.m., the first time we heard from the prosecutors, the first time that you have till Monday to come in and plead guilty, or we're filing an 80-page indictment that's going to include your wife. Now, I don't know if you're married. I'm going on 30 years, and there wasn't a chance in hell I was going to put my wife through anything. And so I said, fuck it. No problem. I'm a man. I can handle it. I can handle anything. I come from good stock. I come from the stock of a survivor. My father's a Holocaust survivor. If he could survive that shit, I could survive this. And so I went in and I pled to whatever they told me to plead to. All right? And by the way, for your information, I paid that $1.3 million before even sentencing. It wasn't like I took anybody else's money. I'm the only one who went to prison for paying money. Not like Avenatti who stole money. Not like Trump who takes money. I paid $130 on Donald's behalf. So it's really important to know the facts before making presumptions. You see, I don't want to make presumptions about you blindly. But if you had a book about you, I actually would read it. Because for you, it's important to understand the reality. We are at an inflection point in America right now. And the inflection point is, does our democracy stand and go forward, or do we actually lose it? Do we lose our democracy, our democratic republic? Are we going to lose more and more rights to a man who has autocratic tendencies? And the answer is yes. And it's why I, along with so many Republicans that used to work, despite the fact I've been a Democrat my whole life, by the way. I've been a Democrat my entire life.
Wow.
You know, but there's so many Republicans that worked for Donald Trump that acknowledge and understand what I'm saying here. And all I want to do, I'm not telling you, of course, it's not my right to tell you who to vote for. I just do want to provide you with facts because facts matter.
Patrick.
So you said that I came up here making I forget what you said. I didn't come up here and accuse you of anything. I just simply asked why you worked for the man and you asked how I knew how much you made. A simple Google search goes a long way. It's clear that you made a lot of money while you worked for the man. I mean, that's, like I said, a simple Google search will prove that.
I did make money. Sure, I was paid. I was compensated for my time. Let me be clear about something. The amount of money that I was earning as passive income was at least quadruple what my salary was. Like I said, I was other than Trump, I was the richest guy in the office, richer than Donald's own kids.
Wow,
that's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I told you. You know,
right. So why did I work for him?
No,
at the time that I went to work for him in 2007. Because I was doing legal work for him, prior to that, about a year and a half prior to that.
Okay, let me reiterate my question because you're yet to answer it.
He's answered the question, Patrick.
What are you not getting? No, he did not. If you worked for the man and got paid by the man and did time working for the man, what's making you come on here now and all of a sudden be anti-Trump? That was the question.
It's not just now. It's not just now.
Well, you weren't anti-Trump when you worked for him. So what is it?
But he wasn't president of the United States. He was the president and CEO of the Trump Organization. I never worked in the White House. What you're talking about, it just doesn't make any sense.
Do you get it, Patrick?
When I worked for Donald Trump, I'm really good at real estate, by the way.
So Michael, if you were his lawyer and you got paid by him, did you work for the man? Did the man pay you? Okay, so then you worked for the man. I didn't say you worked for him. You weren't in the White House. You didn't do anything. You worked for the man. You received a paycheck from him.
Patrick,
and what's your point?
Are you trying to ask what made him decide to not support Donald Trump after working for him?
Yes, that is the question. That was the very first thing
I believe, and if you were listening to the story, he went into great detail about what happened.
No, totally
Donald
false.
Trump, as I have said a million times, Donald Trump, when he became president, became the worst version of himself imaginable. I never thought I would see Donald Trump the way that I see him today, the way I saw him 6-7 years ago, when, again, I said to George Stephanopoulos that my loyalty to Trump is over, that my wife, my daughter, my son, and my country have my first loyalty. Donald Trump, since taking office, and I can't believe it's the same man, has become the worst racist, sexist, misogynist, xenophobe, homophobe, Islamophobe, transphobe, anti-Semite that I have ever encountered in my life. And so why I will support and why I do support Kamala Harris, because I don't support any of those things.
You get it, Patrick?
Yeah, I understand that.
It's not, Patrick, there's no amount of money that should allow you to sell your soul, and to sell it to Donald Trump? Seriously? Now, what are you going to do now that you know this is a person who's gotten closer to Donald Trump than you ever will? And this is what Michael is sharing with you. What are you going to do with that information, Patrick?
Well, there's only one thing that's clear here. We have two candidates, and unfortunately, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. So,
can I ask you why?
Absolutely. You guys love to say that, Biden and Kamala are still working under the Trump presidency and a lot of the stuff that took place there, but that's so untrue. 6 months into Biden's presidency, stuff was high, yes, because of the COVID thing. But 6 months after that, things started to become high. So you mean to tell me that within 6 months, all of a sudden we're off the Trump, or we're under the Biden thing? We're still working under the Trump stuff? No, totally wrong.
Patrick, I'm a little confused about the direction you just went. Michael has just explained, and in very plain language, the dangers of aligning himself with Donald Trump and how it has ruined his life in ways you just can't even imagine. Now, I asked you, now that you know that's what's going to happen, because we all saw his first term in office. It didn't end very well, right? It ended with him leading an insurrection against the United States government.
But he did a damn good job of running the country. You mean to tell me right now, with all the foreign stuff going on throughout the world,
Sir.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sir, when he left, the country was in a nasty pandemic. Unemployment was through the roof. Remember? People were locked down in the house.
Because the Dems made him close down the greatest economy in the world.
Wait, Patrick. And he continued to spread a lie, one big lie, that the election results weren't the real results, and began to break the law. And like I said, it resulted in his supporters going to the Capitol, all right, committing crimes. Some of them are now in prison. And you call that running a good administration? I'm confused.
Absolutely. Under his administration, my stocks were good. My 401k was...
Wait. Can we stop there, Patrick?
Absolutely.
Is your 401k not higher today than it was 4 years ago?
Absolutely not.
It's not?
Absolutely not.
Then you have a very bad management company, because the stock market right now you should Google this. Don't take my word for it. 401ks are up 28%. 28% on average. The stock market is through the roof. Our economy is 2.5 times that of any other economy in the world. We have dwarfed now China by 2.5 times. We have the greatest economy in the history of the world. That's a fact. We have the lowest unemployment. In fact, the United States came out of COVID thanks to the Biden administration not thanks to Trump, but thanks to the Biden administration, better than any other country. So I'm not sure what you're referring to on whatever parameters you're using to define Trump's presidency. But his presidency was marred with chaos, complete chaos. Do you see chief of staff leaving every other week? Do you see him firing FBI agent, the head of the FBI? Do you see the chaos that the man brought with him? And this is what you consider to be proper management? You wouldn't let him run your personal company, not under those management skills.
Would you really let somebody with his record?
$8 trillion he added to the deficit?
That's a good
Patrick, come on, man.
So hadn't Biden?
Can I ask you one? Can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely, but let me just answer this real quick.
Patrick,
hasn't Biden added $7 trillion to the deficit as well?
No,
Patrick.
Oh,
where are you getting your information from?
5.
Simple Google searches like you guys do.
I think it's 5 trillion.
Yeah.
I would say somewhere at least 6. I wouldn't say 5. I would say
it's 5. But listen. So let me ask you this: your 401k, if you don't mind me asking, what's the biggest holding that they have in that 401k? What stock? I mean, all they had to do is just invest it into the NASDAQ 500, and you'd be up over 20%.
I'm not really, 100% sure. We have every 6 months we talk to our financial people. And
okay, so 6 months ago, what was the biggest investment that your 401k had? By the way, 4.5 trillion is what Biden added to. Google it, look it up. Thank you to all of you who did that for me.
And Trump added 8.4 trillion.
Yeah. So
I mean, understand that
you like Google? I like Google.
But he
By the
put
way,
money
if you would
back
have
in.
invested in only Google,
Patrick, we're trying
if you would have invested in only Google or Amazon, you'd be up 33%. So I'm just trying to ask you, what
stocks?
You should know your 401k.
Absolutely, but
what stocks are you invested in?
I'm not really willing to disclose that information.
And you want stock? Look, I have stock in Amazon. Okay.
I'm glad you're willing to share that. I'm not willing to share that.
Well, Patrick, I'm getting the impression you're lying.
I'm just trying to understand how your 401k is down when everybody else's is up. I'm trying to be a friend here. I'm trying to help you.
Whose all is up? I've been in this thread since you guys started. And
Patrick,
it's like only you guys' stuff is up. Everybody else's is so low.
No.
Okay.
That's why we're asking you, how's the stock market up? Ours are up, but yours aren't.
Patrick,
it makes no sense. And you won't even tell us what stock you got. So
I know what stock Patrick invested in.
Because it's frankly none of your business.
Right, but I know which one. I know what you invested in.
Okay.
What is it?
Truth Social.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Truth Social.
That is a very great platform, though.
Oh, it's the best. Well, you and the other 780,000 people.
Absolutely.
I have more people than that on my TikTok show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Patrick, I'm not getting a good read that you're actually absorbing the information. I still feel like you're fighting the truth. Why?
I'm not fighting. You guys are asking me questions and I'm answering them, and I'm constantly getting interrupted.
Here's the thing. If you're going to tell people your stocks aren't doing well, you got to go to the next level and tell them, well, what stock do you got?
Absolutely
and you won't
not.
do that. You won't do that. So that tells me
you're not Kramer. You're not Kramer. You're not Kramer that you could get in trouble for saying what one stock out of your 401k. I mean, it's if your 401k is not invested in the NASDAQ top 10, then I don't know what company that you're with. And as a recommendation to be a friend to you, here's some advice. You need to switch platforms. You need to go to somebody else that has some understanding of the stock. You see, you could actually right now take a dart and throw it at the stock market, and you would actually be a winner. You wouldn't be losing. Now, maybe you wouldn't be over 20%, but you would not be losing because the stock market is on fire. It is the highest it has ever been. Now, you're right. Many people say stock market is for rich people. Totally, I agree with that comment. I do. But 401ks, obviously you work for somebody, right? And you have this program. A lot of people retire off of their 401k. So my hope is that, my wish for you is that your 401k actually, like everybody else's in the country, makes money.
Respectfully, Michael, if you ask many other Floridians the same question or the same stuff that I'm telling you guys, everybody's on the same page here.
Who's managing your 401k?
My parents live in Florida. Their 401k is not.
Oh, okay.
How old are you, Patrick?
33.
Okay. What company manages your 401k?
Respectfully, that's none of your business as well.
Yeah, I have to say, unfortunately, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And again, if it's true what you're saying, I do suggest that you switch to a different management.
All right. And with that, Patrick, we got to move it on because we caught you in too many lies and you're not accepting the truth.
Oh, yeah. You're not accepting the truth. You're the one that's cutting me off all the time.
No, because you're not telling the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick is still possessed with the MAGA demons. So guess what we're going to do? Join me in giving him what he deserves. Another round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. Bye, Patrick.
Silence, you MAGA Demons.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
All right, who do we have now? What is your take so far on all of this right now, Mike? Because you're in the battlefield right now. This is what we do on TikTok daily.
Look, I've been in the battlefield for 7 years now, and I'm fortunate to have people like yourself. I used to be in this battlefield alone, and now I have a lot of warriors that are stepping up, trying to do what needs to be done, and that's to educate people like Patrick or Laura or
Clarence.
Right? I mean, these are. This is the sad truth that there are a slew of people in this country that no matter how you try to educate them on truth, they have a preconceived notion. They refuse to allow any derivation from it, and they will fight you tooth and nail or do like what Laura did. Well, what about Bill Clinton? The fuck about Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton's not running for the presidency. Bill Clinton is out there doing things using his status as former president of the United States for charitable purposes. Now, do I think what happened with Monica Lewinsky was horrible and wrong? Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah.
But does that mean that we're going to excuse Donald Trump? We're going to excuse Donald Trump's behavior because Bill Clinton did something? I mean, how does that even resonate with somebody? How is that even a conversation that we should all be having? We need to talk about today, tomorrow, and the future. You can't go back in time. So yes, you could look at history, but you look at history to ensure that you don't repeat the past. Our job is to move forward, not to move backwards. So when you start that whataboutisms, right? Well, what about Bill Clinton? What about him? You want me to call him? I have his cell number. I'll call him. Should I ask him to join us?
Maybe we might have to. I don't know. Now, listen, we have some other friendlies, all right? They might want to come up here because what I do is I try to ping pong, all right? But you know, you're the guest today, so I'm going to bring
up to you, Zeus. This is your house.
All right, I'm bringing up our first panelist. All right, my good friend, Nutty Professor. He's in the battlefield with us. Good morning, Nutty. How are you?
I'm doing great. So Michael, just very quickly.
Wait. You're not gonna turn your camera on and show how ugly you are compared to Zeus?
Now, Zeus,
Because
Zeus,
I'm
cut it
Triple
out.
H, right? Honest, humble, and handsome. But this guy, Nutty, he likes to try to take away one of my ages. And so, if you don't mind, Nutty. Oh, Lord, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got Nutty.
Zeus, cut it out. Cut it out.
This is my brother right here. All
Cut it
right.
out. Michael, I'm also a Michigander, but I live in the state of Missouri right now. But I'm a Michigander. But what I'm noticing is that in the comments, you're being called a liar. You're being called a thief. You're being called everything except a child of God. You're being called everything except a person who has atoned for the mistakes that he's made. Now, I'm not giving you apples and oranges for doing the right thing, right? But the fact is that we live in a system to where if you make a mistake and you atone for your mistake, where is this forgiveness that y'all keep talking about that you want to give Donald Trump? Why won't you get in this box and say it to the man's face? You keep calling him all of these things, and Zeus has opened up a platform with him being right here in this platform for you to get up here and say anything you want to say to this man. So, like Kamala Harris has stated, if you have something to say it to his face. Period, point blank, end of discussion.
Well,
So,
they
Michael,
don't.
No,
They don't.
They don't because they're cowards.
Yeah. And it's also because they don't want to hear the reality. They don't want to know the facts. Yeah, I made mistakes, and I took responsibility, even for some that I should not have, never should have been charged with. But like I said to Zeus before, I didn't have a choice. The threat in 48 hours with this entire case came on a Friday at 5:30 p.m. You show up Monday morning at 9 a.m. to plead guilty to those 8 counts over filing an 80-page indictment that includes your wife. And hell, there was not a chance in the world that I was going to put my wife through any of this. And so I said, all right, fuck it. I'll do it. And I did.
And I got mad respect for that. Why would you let your family be harmed even further? Why would you?
I would not. But what ended up happening is, look, I knew that there was a problem. The problem was the campaign finance violations, which of course I did at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump. In fact, they want to call me a liar because I pled to lying to Congress. Do you know what the lie that I told Congress was?
Wait a second. I forget. What is it?
The lie that I pled guilty to, and I don't want you to fall off your seat here, Nutty Professor, because this is factual and you could Google it. The lie that I told Congress was the number of times that I claimed to have told that I talked to Donald Trump about the failed Trump Tower Moscow real estate project.
Oh, yes. That's what it was.
I was directed by the entire team. And there was like 8 of us. He wants it to be de minimis, so we said 3. When the true answer is, I spoke to Donald about it 10 times. That's the lie. Which again, why would I give a shit if I said 3 or 10? What's the difference? That's what I felt. What's the difference? And so that became a basis for one of the counts, the ones that these MAGA morons here want to turn around and call me a...
Where did he go? Is he still there?
You know who? Who?
It lagged for a second.
You know who said Michael? You know who said Michael Cohen told the truth?
Was it Donald?
Judge Arthur Engoron in the New York Attorney General civil fraud case, the one where Donald Trump got whacked for $500 million. All right. Arthur Engoron said, you know who didn't tell the truth? Donald, Don Jr., Eric, Alan Weisselberg, McConney, the whole group of them. But he said, page 32, Michael Cohen told the truth. And that's why that case was successful for the New York Attorney General. You know who else said that Michael Cohen told the truth? The 12 independent jurors in the Manhattan DA case when they returned a verdict of guilt 34 times.
Hey,
34 times.
Michael, how many times?
34 counts of guilt.
Is that in Spanish? 34?
Yes.
34?
34.
But
right.
And guess what? My 401k, I mean, it's not doing fabulous like I wanted to, but it's doing good. And
Well, how much is it up for the year?
It's up right now. It's up about 20%.
20% isn't good.
Well, I needed to go up higher than that, man. I needed to go up. I'm trying to.
He wants it to go to 1,000%.
Rain.
Hey, I'm trying to retire. See, I'm 50 and I'm not retired.
That's like 1973.
Listen, that's the year I was born. That's the year I was born. See, so, and if you ask, where some of my stocks are, I can tell you what's his name, Patrick?
Yeah.
Patrick, I can tell you who manages my portfolio. It used to be TD Ameritrade, which is now Charles Schwab.
Oh, that's a secret, Nutty. Don't say it. That's a secret.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret. But like Michael said, if you can't even name one of your stocks, then my guy, the chances are you're lying. You're a liar. Because I can tell you where my money is. And if you don't know where your money is, then there's a problem. And it's not a secret to say who's managing your money. That's not a secret.
It shouldn't be.
There you go.
No. Well, Zeus, listen, man, I know you got a lot of mutuals that want to get in here. Michael, it's good seeing you. Next time you see me in that request box in your live, man, and you don't bring me up, I'm going to come to New York and I'm going to punch you in the neck.
No, there you go.
No, it's all good. Hey, good seeing you, man. Y'all have a great day. And
brother.
Keep preaching the truth.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my good friend Nutty. He's a little insecure, but he has a big heart. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Nutty a round of applause. No lies detected. All right, let's go. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of interesting people here. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right, what I'll do is we will bring up, let's go. I'm going to try to get through as many mutuals as I can. So we get 3 minutes and then we'll move on. You know how we do. Good morning, Shay.
Hey, Michael. How are you? Hey, Zeus.
Hi, Shay.
How are you?
I am doing good. Just getting ready for the day. And Michael, I've been up on your platform before with your wonderful friend Greg that does the Trump impersonation, Z-Pac.
And by the way, we do need to shout out Z-Pac. All right, Greg. Yeah. Without Z-Pac, this wouldn't be happening. So yes, thank you, Shay, for calling that. I don't know if he's here, but Z-Pac, if you're there.
He's the one that got us introduced to Michael. And of course, the whole right side of TikTok just went ballistic.
Yeah, that it did.
They were so mad at us. Oh my God, it's election interference. You guys are talking to, a witness in the Trump trial, and it's, all this ridiculous stuff. It was hysterical.
Yeah, that it is. But yeah, I have my show that I do like at 10 o'clock on TikTok every night, and I've had you on, and I've had Zeus on. Now I have to bring up Nutty Professor when he comes on, but Z-Pac comes on. Z-Pac comes on often, and I'll tell you, he's a crowd favorite because his impersonation of Trump is spectacular. But it's not even so much the fact that the impersonation; it's the language that he uses, the rambling word vomit that comes out of Trump's mouth. He's so good at it, and it's just funny, and people really enjoy it. And my thought is maybe through comedy a little bit that we can get through to some of these MAGA morons. Maybe at least they'll They'll think about what it is that they're saying because there's a backdrop of humor to it. I don't know. I don't know what is necessary to get through to them. I really don't. You know, it's so easy. Oh, Zeus, you're a liar. Michael Cohen, you're a liar. Right?
That's what they say.
Sure. It's so easy to call. You could call me a liar, and I continue to call you MAGA morons. I continue to say that you are those that we see walking around with 3 teeth and 4 brain cells, right? Or, as I like to say to you, go get your fucking shine box. Because at the end of the day, if you refuse to acknowledge reality and truth, we're not on the same plane. Now, we may have a difference of opinion, like with Nutty Professor. He's not happy with a 20% return so far on his 401k. That's okay. That's his opinion. Me personally, I think a 20% annual realized return is pretty damn good.
I do too.
And I think it means something for this administration. But then again, that's a difference of opinion off of a fact, right? That's not the same as when we were listening to like Patrick or Laura. Well, that's just not true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Absolutely, Michael. And I just wanted to, here's the thing. When you get these Trump supporters up here, right, or they're listening in the thing, and they're attacking you, here's why we say you're in a cult. You've got a man that liked him, if not loved, Donald J. Trump, right?
I started the campaign.
Wow.
I started the campaign.
You started this. Wow.
I was the one who started the campaign. I started it in 2011 for 2012. And then we ended up backing out because I renegotiated a deal for another season of The Apprentice. And it paid Trump a ton of money.
Oh.
He also, at the time, we secured a couple of golf courses, including the Doral. And so he wasn't ready to go in. But he promised, and I said I'd be there with him, and we would start it again in 2015. I'm the one who started the campaign. And all you need to do, MAGA assholes, is take a look and go back to something that I started, which was called ShouldTrumpRun.com. That's where it all started. And I paid for it on my own. I didn't ask Donald for money for it. Why? Because I didn't need money. I was very fortunate. Very fortunate. And so, yeah, it's my fault. I know. I acknowledge that. It is my fault. And then...
We can't do that. We can't do that. It's still their fault. They know better now. We're way past that. They know better now.
In 2015, I restarted the campaign, and there was only 3 of us in the whole thing when this started. In fact, I'm the one that also started what was called, because what bothered me is when he would start going on these rallies early on in 2015.
Yeah. Well, listen, I got to go with Shay. All right, Shay, we're going to bring up.
Okay. I just want to
His
remind
crowds,
people.
by the way, his crowds looked like Klan meetings. So I said, we need diversity. You can't win an election without diversity. So I started, along with a guy who was a friend of mine at the time, Pastor Darrell Scott from Cleveland, Ohio, from the New Spirit Revival Church. I started the National Diversity Coalition for Trump, which ended up with over 10 million people. And I ended up turning it over. Hey, beautiful Shay. And then, what do you call it? And then we turned it over to the RNC because I couldn't use it. I'm a Democrat.
Got it. Now, what do you want to say, Shay?
I'm going. I just want to say this. This is a man that supported this man. Why did he change? Not because he went to prison, but because he saw how his quote-unquote friend ran the White House. He quote unquote watched every single piece and discovered who this man actually is when the power and the pressure are on him and all of that. And I would love for you to speak more on the character flaw that you saw and why you know he's dangerous for this country, what you understand about him as a character, and where his heart is. Is it really for the American people or is it for himself? I would love for you to tap in on that a little bit because you know him more than anybody up here. And maybe that'll help people to understand some stuff. But thank you for being here, Michael. You're awesome.
Look, let me be clear. Donald Trump, how many times have you heard me say Donald Trump doesn't care for anyone or anything other than himself? Whether
Let's give it up to the beautiful Shay. Thank you, Shay. Listen, you are all making this possible, all right, but we are on a time crunch. All right, I see you there. Okay, I see you. I see someone we're definitely going to bring up, one of your friends. But before we do that, have you ran into this knucklehead before, Michael? This is a MAGA demon on TikTok. All right, so you got to switch gears a little bit. Snuggles.
Hello. How you doing?
Are you going to turn your camera on?
Yes, if you'd like.
Yeah. You're talking to the one and only, and this is someone that goes by the name Ultimate MAGA, and he's a liar. Yeah. He's a liar. He promotes misinformation and disinformation, and he's requested to speak to you.
How you doing, Snuggles? How you doing, Mike? I'm not here to dig it in.
That's okay. What's your actual name?
Yeah, my name is Jim.
Jim, now at least I know how to call you. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I'm not here to fight with you.
I'm not a MAGA demon. I'm just here to ask a couple questions. And
go for it. But I'm watching. I want you to know I got my eyes and ears.
Zeus, you owe me some steaks, first of all. All right. So anyway, because you haven't got him in jail, period, yet.
Oh, okay. See,
we have a steak bet, Mike, that he says that he's going to be in jail, but he's not. But I was just wondering about these convictions. Are they going to be overturned? Because there hasn't been any, there seems to be delay after delay with his sentencing. What's going on with that?
So one thing about Donald, and nobody should refute this one, regardless of what your political position is, he is a master at manipulating the legal system.
Right.
He's
not a lawyer, though, so he can't manipulate it himself. He's got lawyers to do it.
Yes, but he runs the show. Even
but
his
how does
own.
He run the show when you're a lawyer and he's a lawyer? How does he run the show? You're a lawyer and there's lawyers.
Sir, you're doing it.
You want the answer?
Yes.
His own lawyer, who I call the Sloat, the stupidest lawyer of all time, Todd Blanche, on television himself, when they said, who was directing the case? How was this being handled? So he goes, Mr. Trump did. Because he has very specific handled. And as the lawyer, you try to fit in what his desires, what his goal, his tasks are. And so what he's doing, what Donald is doing, is he is using the system, is using all of MAGA money, right, in order to continue to file motion after motion after motion.
Right.
Despite the fact it's the same motion that has already been rejected 3 times, but there are time periods. There are time periods that are ascribed to the various different motions. So he did a motion in opposition. Then what they did is they delayed that. And then after the motion for the opposition, it came down and it was ruled summary judgment against him. And so he went to the appellate court and he filed an appeal on that motion claiming that the judge got it wrong. Well, anytime you go to the appellate court, you know it's 3 to 4 months easy. It's not like your kid comes to you and says, hey, Pop, can I have $20? You make a decision on the spot, yes or no. That's not how it works. Then, after he loses, he waits the time period before which there's going to be a hearing. And just prior to that hearing, he brings the same motion that he just lost. And he starts the process all over again. He is what's called a vexatious litigant.
Ah, I see. Well, why wasn't this all done at the federal level?
Why wasn't what done at the federal level?
Why didn't you guys bring him at the
hush money trial? He's trying to say where was the federal case?
Yeah, this
so
affair happened in 2006.
Okay, let me be clear. Let me be clear about something. I was a non-party subpoenaed witness. I didn't bring any cases against Donald Trump other than the case that I won on when I sued him for the outstanding legal fees that were owed to the law firms that he refused to pay. All right. Other than that, that's my litigation that's personal to me. The other, again, I was nothing more than like the other 21 other people a non-party subpoenaed witness. Why was it not brought on a federal level? Because Alvin Bragg or his predecessor, Cy Vance, elected to do it on a state level. That wasn't my call. I have no reason to even. There's no response that I can give you that makes any sense. I'm not the one that calls the shots.
Right. Okay. Well, some of the witnesses were from the federal case. So wouldn't his convictions be overturned for presidential immunity since
No. And by the way, Donald, even if he wins, he cannot overturn a state case. You could only pardon.
But they opened the door there. They shouldn't have brought those things up.
The president can only federally pardon. He can't state pardon. The state pardon has to come from the governor.
I see what you're saying on that one. But why is the sentencing having problems here, though? I mean,
they're not. That you're making a presumption now.
Right.
And that's September 18th when he is required to appear before Judge Juan Merchan for sentencing. Now,
right.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to use the example that I just gave to you. So what he goes ahead and they just filed a motion trying to use the Supreme Court presidential immunity in order to make the claim that Hope Hicks and Madeline Westerhout should not have been allowed to testify. Here's the flaw. Here's the flaw in that argument. First and foremost, this case was finished and over before the Supreme Court made its ruling. So you can't go back in time. You can't make this retroactive. This case is going to go for sentencing. Now, it was supposed to have taken place in August or something like August 1st. And it was, I'm sorry, not August 1st, June 1st. But they asked for an extension and the court was kind enough to grant it to them. Extensions happen all the time. But Judge Merchan made it clear that this sentencing is set in stone.
Right.
Unless there's some exigent circumstance, which so far nobody has been able to find.
Right, but can't this be overturned?
So listen, Snuggles, we have to move it on. All right.
I just got one more question.
What is the question?
Can't this be overturned on error? Because you guys brought this forth. They brought this forth.
Why does it matter?
Let me say this to you. The answer is that's an inaccurate statement, that it was done in error.
Right. Isn't that why people appeal? That's why people appeal.
He did appeal and he lost. There are 34 counts of guilt that was determined by an independent jury of 12 that both prosecutors and defense counsel chose to sit. Right? Now, I remember all the MAGAs and all of these geniuses would turn around and say, Michael Cohen's going to be a horrible witness. It's going to get thrown out.
That was him. That was Snuggles. That was Snuggles.
It's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
I can ask these questions.
No.
After 9 hours of deliberation, 9 very short hours of deliberation, the jury came back, the independent jury, and determined in unanimity that Donald Trump is guilty on all the counts. Plain and simple. So there is no error here. What you're doing is you're conflating the Supreme Court decision to the New York District Attorney hush money case.
You understand? You
and they're two completely separate things.
So now that Michael, you've just cooked Snuggles, you've ruined his breakfast. Snuggles, unfortunately,
those convictions are going to be overturned.
I got to go on, but ladies and gentlemen, Snuggles once again just got steamrolled. Join me in sending Snuggles straight to the lake of fire. He's still possessed with the MAGA demon, but Michael, you cooked him. He's done. He's going to go start.
The problem with these guys is they can't handle facts.
They can't. They can't. And this is what we're going to do for you, Snuggles. Goodbye.
Well, my friend Zeus, I got to run. I'm going to be doing Sirius Radio very soon. So I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to join you and your incredible group of folks. I apologize. I will come back. So, I promise you.
Wait a second. Your friend, Z-Pac, he just wants to say hi before you go, if you don't mind. Z-Pac?
From Iceland.
Wow. What an honor and a privilege it is to see this. What a crew. They're saying this may be the best crew, the best duo that I've seen. This is unbelievable.
For sure.
Unreal. I mean, they're saying that Michael and I are the best duo, but man, I'm liking this. You guys are cooking some folks, and you're doing it eloquently. I mean, we're talking about individuals who have been spreading a lot of filth for a very long time on this app. I mean, we're talking. I've been in a lot of arguments with these
The
people.
kind of filth that fills a diaper right to the rim. Fill it to the rim with brim.
It's probably a disgrace, and quite frankly, if you look at what they did, they've done a terrible job. They brought these people in, and they said, I can't believe it. They said, Snuggles, we're snuggling with Snuggles, and he's doing a great job.
But you know what? Snuggles was asking fair questions.
I mean, he was very subdued. He was very subdued.
Snuggles, they are fair questions. The only mistake that Snuggles made was the very last sentence before you dropped him. And that is, it will be overturned. That's not how the system works. You see, I know that the system doesn't work the same for you, for me, for Zeus or Z-Pac as it does for Donald. It does not. He has shown America that there is more than one set of laws for each individual. We don't.
All right, I think Michael, you gotta go. It sounds like you're an important person. You got to get out of here, brother. It was nice.
Michael, where are you going on Sirius? Where's this interview you're having today?
Oh,
what keeps happening to you?
He keeps getting a call. I'm assuming, but feel free to plug whatever you need to plug before you leave. Oh, he's out of here.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is what it is. Make sure you follow Cohen, ladies and gentlemen, to get the latest. All right.
Yes. So, this was quite a surprise this morning. I came into the kingdom, and there's Michael Cohen.
Right.
Michael Cohen. And wow. Well, good for you. I'm glad he stopped in this morning. We talked about it on his program. And so this was again,
you did it. Thank you, Z-Pac, for bridging that connection. I don't know. It was just a random thing that happened. It wasn't planned, but it happened, and it's definitely one for the history books, right? Thank you, Mr.
You guys didn't plan this. This wasn't like, hey, we're gonna do a tandem live today. Because he did tell you he was gonna stop by.
Yeah, he did, but I didn't know that he was going to do it so soon. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, if you know what I mean.
Well, they love cookies, and we're looking at the A1C. They say I need to have a test for the A1C. They say it's cookies.
Oh my goodness! Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay.
I can. I have running out to attend to.
Okay. All right, but listen, I got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. What a show, yeah. Zeus has literally gone off the rails, all right? So, Z-Pac, once again, thank you for bridging the connection, all right? But, yes, I got to get up out of here, all right?
We'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Z-Pac a round of applause. I'm so sorry I didn't get to talk to all of you, seriously. I love you all very, very much, but, this is around that time of the show where Zeus must depart and tend to those affairs. Gentlemen, hold on. My comment section disappeared, all right? But before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. First of all, I want to give you all a round of applause. Hold on, can you hear me? I want to give you all a round of applause I also want to give a round of applause to all the subscribers, to the gifters, to the moderators, to the panelists who have helped to make this show educational, entertaining, and engaging. And a special shout out to Michael Cohen. He came up here unplanned and pretty much just helped send this show to the next level. You all deserve a round of applause. But you know what else I got to do? I got to give one last round of boos and shame. These boos and shames go out to all of the Zeus haters out here. These aren't just my haters. These are also your haters. These people get on TikTok day in and day out and spread misinformation and disinformation on behalf of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. They promote evil, misogyny, bigotry, xenophobia, hatred, all kinds of evil and corruption on behalf of their cult leader, Donald J. Trump. Trust me when I tell you this, folks. These folks are the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth. Join me in giving them our final round of, you guessed it, boos and shame.
Silence! You MAGA Demons!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. If I didn't get to you today, doesn't mean I love you. It just means Zeus has to really get up out of here. It's been a busy morning. All right, love you all. Take care. Stay safe. All right, Rick, thank you so much. I hope you Trump supporters learned something very valuable this morning. I really do. That was a special gift. You're not going to get that too often on TikTok. Trust me.
This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus.
I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Thank you, everyone. You made it possible. I didn't think it could happen, but it happened. Oh, Snuggles got cooked today. Again, he's not going to have any reason for not knowing the truth going forward. And that's for all you Trump supporters, seriously. Hey, let's go! What a great show, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. I don't know how we got on and off at the same time. I didn't see that coming. Wow! We hit our goal. You have been. Miss Cam, I love you.
Love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth. Player hating on the gods, being such a douche. I tried to be patient, but you had to light my fuse.
DJ Kitty Cat, let's go!
These ladies love me, yeah, I'm no
my man!
I'm so handsome, that's why
thank you
they call
so
me.
much.
This is how I'm
Hey, you Trump supporters, you really don't have any excuse or reason for supporting Donald Trump at this point. You know, I like to act a fool. It really is over, MAGA. Sorry, Mom. I did not. I allowed the kingdom to be defiled today. I'm so sorry, Mom. But you know, that's show business, right? You gotta sometimes bend a little. Alright. Then you guaranteed to lose.
I didn't make the game a rule, so don't play me like a fool. If you can't
What a show, ladies and gentlemen.
Even though I'm hot, people telling me be cool. I'm just sitting on my throne while you
have a great rest of your morning.
Time to let loose with the truth. Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose. I know the ladies love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth. Player hating on the gods, being such a douche.
Let's go!
Be patient, but you had to like my
yes, a special thanks to Michael Cohen from all of us. You're right, Lewis.
I'm the one
that's
that
what we
choose.
do.
You know I'm so handsome.
That's why they call me Reggie! I see you, Hector! I see you, James Slamming! I see you, brother. Alright, nice to see you, Idaho. Yeah, keep up the great work. Slick as Rick. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go out there and give them a hell. Keep delivering the truth to all these MAGA demons. It is what it is, right? Here we go.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Thank you.
Okay, listen. Why would you mention Hannibal Lecter? He must be positively in trouble.
He must be.
No, these are real.
Hey, Jack Smith, keep up the great work, Jack Smith.
Insane asylum. Jack Smith. Insane asylum. Jack Smith. Jack Smith. Insane asylum. Jack Smith. Insane asylum. Jack Smith. Insane asylum. Jack Smith. Insane asylum.
Zeus.
I know they go crazy when deranged Jack Smith.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what his name used to be. Jack Smith. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Jack Smith. What's his name? Jack Smith. He's a very nice man. He's a behind-the-scenes guy, but his record is absolutely atrocious. He does political hit jobs. You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you?
Oh, okay, all right.
Yesterday she got up, she started ranting and raving that Donald Trump wants to put a tax on gasoline, a tax on food, a tax on medication, a tax on clothing, a tax on every single thing that was ever invented. Your hat he's going to tax. Your shirt he's going to tax. He's going to tax your wife. He's going to tax your husband.
Oh my God! Listen.
And I'm saying I never said any of that.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written
Tell him, Kamala.
in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States.
Tell him, Kamala.
To be a president for all Americans, you can always trust me to put country above party and self, to hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen,